guys, welcome back to the channel. Been a little while since I've been filming because it's been so darn hot, and coming out here in the garage it's no fun. So in the meantime I've been doing a few other things down in the workshop, namely stripping the rear air canisters that I'll show you in a future video. But I want to talk to you today about the top area just below the windscreen and a little bit of a preventative maintenance, because I had to remove the windscreen wipers and the cowl to get it ready for epoxy primering, and I'll show you a couple of things about that. First of all, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously you have to take off the windscreen wipers, which is a couple of 13 or 14 mil bolts, or nuts I should say, and then various Phillips screws all along the valance there, and disconnect the water washer. Let me get it and I'll show you. Here we go. As you know, this sits up there, and then there you've got this chrome trim. Pretty straightforward to take off, and then just disconnect the water feeder pipe into that, and then it will reveal that chamber back there, which, depending on where you live, you're going to block up all these filters here. These are kind of cabin filters, I guess. These are seen better days, so let me know, anyone, if you know where I can get these. Probably the Classic Center, but they're just made out of a plastic frame on one side and then a small one on the other, and then with this this kind of material, kind of a basic filter, and obviously they get all clagged up with pine needles. So obviously this side is a passenger side where the long filter goes, and then there's another one over here with that little short stubby filter, and you can imagine a lot of garbage gets washed down into this channel down here, and this is what that drainage line is for, at the bottom of the chamber here, and that has to remain clean. Okay, and this is missing. It's got a kind of a rubber bung on the end that allows water to come out. Let me get the flashlight, I'll show you. You'll see where it's black now. That's where I treated it with Permatex. Now there is a pinch weld line down the bottom there where all it's dark, which is vulnerable obviously if the drain blocks of rust, and that could be a serious problem in this model and probably others, to rust through into the cabin and cause all manner of problems. So probably wouldn't be a bad idea just to check this area. Like I say, all of that black stuff is Permatex that's treated and deactivated the rust, and I'll clean all that up and that will all get primed and painted in now. And let me see if I can get the camera in here. Now if you look, see that circle there, that's the blower fan that the whole car is essentially built round. But if you ever want to replace that guy, that's quite a job. I've not done it myself, and when I get closer to in the interior work on this car, that more than likely will have to be done. I will obviously test it before, but that is the motor. So you can imagine if this area started filling up with water, I wouldn't imagine it would be far long before water starts pouring into that motor assembly up there. You can't see it on the camera, but this area here has got quite a steep, well, I wouldn't say a steep rise, but a rise up towards that motor. But you can imagine what havoc that would cause. So, but there is the drainage hole right at the bottom channel there. So it would probably behoove you to just take this panel off. Probably take you 20 minutes to take it off, get a vacuum cleaner in there, and then treat any rust that may have taken hold before it causes any issues. Okay, while I'm in here, you can see that got a few dents. This, I'm imagining maybe the engine was out at one point and they caught it as they were taking it out. That's what I'd guess, and bent it, bringing it back in again. But anyway, so here's my patch, my remaining patch there that I did this afternoon. Kind of a tricky little patch here. We've got good penetration through. This gets seam sealed all along this channel, all along there. This is going to get all cleaned out thoroughly and seam sealed after the epoxy. So all I got to do now is scuff sand all this area, put my relocated my main air valve bracket. That's all welded on. All of this is new all the way down. As you can see, the weld line all the way down and straight down. It's come out really nice actually, nice and solid. So that's the next stage. So I'll clean all that up, and let me show you the outer panel, what it looked like, for those of you that didn't see some of the earlier episodes. This horrible mess was what it looked like. That was about there underneath the fender, and all the rest towards the front there was rotten off, but I cut it off in sections, as you remember. See, one of these old patches that someone had done, and obviously this is horrendous. And that's the tail of the tape on the inside, completely unsalvageable, not usable anymore, and someone, as I say, just patched over problems really. So I was able to score this one off of my scrap 108 and weld that on nicely, get rid of all these overlay type patches that look horrible, and that's all really lined up nicely, and I'm very happy with that. And just in the corner here, you can see this, here's the final patch here, this little section here. Assuming, you know, some drainage hole got blocked and it had just rusted out, so I made this section here with this flange here, and then welded this flange on separately, and then it's spot welded and butt welded here, and a basic 80 grit sand up there. All of this is going to get epoxied, and probably some kind of body chutes or something like that, just to match the factory. So that will help hide any imperfections, though it did came out pretty good. And I've treated with zinc primer underneath all the welds, so we don't get any more rust developing under there. As you probably know, the 108 has a hidden air tank that sits just around here. Okay, this bracket here I salvaged from the 108, so this hole has got to be filled in, just similar to the way I did the fender. So that'll get plugged up, the bracket welded on back here, and then bracket up here, and then fit the main air tank to make sure that goes in well. And then the third hole, this has to have 3 holes for the 109 to go through. So I've got this, and so I'll just transfer the hole over so it's in the correct position before we do any paint. We obviously want to get all that sort of stuff done before we put any kind of primer or anything on. So I hope you like that little short video. Just like I say, take that off, check the channels, check the drainage areas. You certainly don't want water going inside that fan motor, because that causes a nightmare. Plus also those lap joints under there, you know, moisture sits there, it's going to create rust and then eventually rust out. So get that drainage hole clear, all of debris and pine needles, and you should be good to go. Maybe even treat it with a bit of Permatex, seal it up, paint it, whatever, just and then get some new cabin filters on there. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one, when hopefully it'll cool down a bit and I can get on with some stuff. All right, thanks a lot. Please hit like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.